I just thought it's never been done, and I just couldn't believe that after all these years of special ed, from 50s onwards, that not one person had actually thought this might make some sort of difference.
I'm here with the folks who advocated for the first bill I was successfully able to get passed in the State House, Disability Inclusive Curriculum.
Being a mother of a child with Down syndrome that is mostly nonverbal, well, at least to most people, to me I can understand her mostly, but I was very nervous sending her to school.
And it wasn't until I was an adult, and especially when I became a parent to a child with a disability, that I realized that there was a missing piece in my education.
My uncle has a disability, and I have many family members who have a disability.
I became a disability advocate about 6 years ago, and when I did that, I thought that I was just an ally. I actually didn't understand my connection and that I actually was a person with a disability.
I'm going to introduce Lisa. She is a constituent who lives in Bridesburg and came to me over 2 years ago with this idea and concept. What does getting this bill passed really mean for you, for disability equality and education?
It's really the greatest day that I can tell you that I participated in. You know, I might have started this process, but I was just a pebble that made a ripple in the water. And all these folks here and many others across the state, and you, Joe, you were the people that helped make a wave.
Because if non-disabled kids understood disabled kids and disability, then there would be less bullying, there'd be less stigma, they'd become more part of the community.
And I think this bill will show that people who live an everyday life, it'll show them what it's like, and maybe, like Alan said, that there'll be less bullying and more people being involved.
Education's about preparing people to become good citizens.
I feel like this bill and pushing for more inclusive education for her, I feel when she is with her peers, she does remarkably better.
We hope that the next generation can grow up without prejudice that ignorance can create. And the most important thing that I'm mindful of today is that these stories and conversations about us cannot be told without us.
Students will be learning about disability just in a very natural way, where the person's disability isn't actually the point of the story necessarily, because disabled people are people just like everyone else.
So it's my hope with this education that with this legislation, that it'll provide a wonderful opportunity for students all around the state to receive a piece of education that's so important.
That's what it's about, right? It doesn't matter what your job ends up with. Will you be a good citizen? Will you be part of the community? Will you add to the community? And I think by doing this, both disabled people can add to the community more, and non-disabled people can add to the community.
Together, we accomplish something great for the Commonwealth, because, you know, the kids will learn these empowering stories from a book that has been closed for too long. In fact, it may never have been opened if it wasn't for you.
We have a lot of work still to do, but today is a day to celebrate. And
thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you to everyone, Sharon and Lisa, Natalia, everyone who participated in getting this bill over the line. One final thing I want to make sure we're mentioning as well is Representative Jason Ortiz, the Republican from Allegheny County, was our prime sponsor on this bill, and he was instrumental in making sure that it got passed with it, and also that funding occurred in the bill itself, so that we're not just saying, let's create this, but we're not going to fund it. So Representative Ortiz really demonstrated some serious leadership here as well, and I want to thank him and thank everybody involved. And if you're watching this and you know anyone with a disability, make sure you go and talk to them in ways that respect what their space is about, but recognize what their experience is. And if you're someone who has a disability, recognize that for you and for the children who are following you, there will be those spaces now where we can make sure that people understand what you experience and how you walk through the world.